How's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I'm here with a review for the latest Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I'm sorry if I have the lisp. It's my retainer. I'm recording this like pretty late at night, so I just want to get it out of the way. I want to talk about it while it's still fresh in my mind. But this movie, this movie is interesting, right? I want to get into it and say like this movie, in my opinion, is not better than the first one, and that it's hard for me to say because I love the first one. The first one was great. Like it was up there with Homecoming and what's it called, No Way Home and all that, and all the other good Marvel movies that I watched. The first Doctor Strange was goated. It was saucy. It was so good. And this one isn't up to par in my opinion. I don't I don't think it compares to the first one. Like I don't remember what I gave the first one, but this one is definitely a lower score. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its good. This movie does have its good. As always, the special effects are off the charts. So you're always gonna have this like disgustingly beautiful, mind-boggling scenes that just make no sense, but they're so cool. Like when they were first getting transported to the dimension where the Illuminati is at. When they turned into paint and they were going through all those dimensions where Strange was being turned into like a cube on his face and everything. Like the paint effect was so fire. Like it was so fluid and everything. It's man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Marvel does it with the effects when Doctor Strange is ever on screen. It's awesome. I love the effects. And the Doctor Strange is always, Benedict Cumberbatch always up to par. The acting was pretty good. I have no problem with the acting whatsoever. The set pieces were interesting, but not as good as what I would expect from a Doctor Strange movie. And let me just go over the plot real quick. So basically, Doctor Strange meets this girl who is a multi-dimensional time or not time traveler, just traveler, like multi-dimensional traveler. And her name is America Chavez, I think, or America Chavez, excuse me. And she doesn't know how to control her power. She's been traversing through 73 worlds or different dimensions, excuse me. And this one, or the one before, was with a different Doctor Strange, but this one, is the one that we know, the Benedict Cumberbatch, the No Way Home one, all that. And Doctor Strange is basically trying to help her out, trying to get her back home and all that. But something's happened. He goes to Wanda. He tries to find a way to get her back home, and Wanda it turns into the Scarlet Witch, and now she's evil. And the rest of the movie is spent trying to run away from Wanda to try to find a way to send Chavez back home, or excuse me, America, while also trying not to die and stop Wanda. That's basically the whole movie, honestly. And with the way that I would rate it, I would say that the beginning, like the first 20 minutes, well, I'd say the first 25 minutes actually, because like no, actually, 25, 30, when was 30 mark around when she shows up? The first 25 to 30 minutes were a whole lot of mid. Like I was so bored watching the first 25 to 30 minutes. I was not interested whatsoever because it just didn't grip me. Like the octopus, I was bored out of my gourd watching that fight. It was so boring. I was not interested at all. And seeing like Wong and Strange work together is like that's cool, but I don't care. I don't care about this enemy. He's so disinteresting. He's an octopus. He's a sea creature. He's disgusting. And part of that's due to the fact that I don't like sea creatures, at all. But for the most part, I just didn't find it interesting at all. I was more bored than I was disgusted. But then after that, you have Strange pulling up on Wanda, and then Wanda pulling up on I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of the place, but where the sorcerers are. The Sanctus Sanctorum? Well, actually, no, that's the New York version. I don't know, but where all the sorcerers are from. And that was pretty boring. Once Strange and Wanda, not Wanda, America go to the other New York 8 something. I forgot the name of it. You know, it's pretty cool. But even then, the Illuminati is not really good. The only characters I like from the Illuminati are British Captain America. I don't know her name, so excuse me. Um, Charles Xavier, like their version of Charles Xavier, and Richard Reeds or Reed Richards. There you go. He like he reminds me, or he looks like the guy from The Office. I don't know. I never watched it, but I know like there's a character I think named Jim who looks exactly like him except he has a beard. So I wonder if they're the same actor or not. And if they aren't, then they just have a real like resemblance. But once they went to the other dimension in the other New York, oh excuse me, when Doctor Strange fought and killed Thanos and all that, or and died fighting Thanos, but killed him as well. It was just like it got better, but it didn't get significantly better. It was still mid to me at the same time because the Illuminati was pretty whack. Black Bolt I thought was a cornball, a jobber, and that's crazy because like in I have a poster of all these Marvel characters. You've probably seen it before if you've seen some of the Marvel posters, but the Black Bolt in that poster looks so cool, and his power like he's like that guy from Jujutsu Kaisen, or at least like the original version of him. And you have Captain Marvel, and she's also a cornball. I just think Captain Marvel's a cornball, period. So there's no changing that. But like, and Mordu as well. Like all three of those people were cornballs. They were jobbers, complete jobbers. Reed Richards was fire. Charles Xavier was fire, and British Captain America was fire. But that's it. Everything else about that place is like okay, it's just Doctor Strange in America. You know, what's there to see? I don't. That's basically it. But then, you know, you leave that area and then you go to when Wanda shows up and takes America and now Strange is in a different dimension with the other Christine and now they have to fight evil Doctor Strange. But that I thought was pretty cool. Finding out that he was evil, the reason why he was evil. It was pretty sick. It shows that our Stephen Strange is teetering on a fine line between destroying the entire universe, an incursion, or being good. So it's pretty cool. But then the fight with the music notes was fire. I saw a criticism from Critical that was like, oh, um, the magic could have had more creativity to it, could have been more or utilized differently. And I can see why because the music notes are really really cool, really cool. Such a fire idea to use as a magical attack. But besides that fight, there's no real like creative way of them fighting, if that makes any sense. Like, because every other fight that involves sorcery, it's just let me use a beam, or let me shoot like a blast, or let me use both, or let me fly around, or whatever, and use a beam again. Like it's not really different from the other ones. And then you have like them going to different areas and locking people in and trapping people and all that. It's like okay. Oh, excuse me. But besides that, it's not really creative. And I understand like the hardest thing about being creative is trying to force yourself to be creative. So if there's no way of making it creative without being dumb or bad, I understand just going with the safer route, but that's more like a nitpick for me than it was from like a criticism. Well, not from me, but a criticism I saw and I kind of agree with honestly. It's not the most creative thing that you could do, considering that magic can be so creative in other medias or in Marvel too. I don't know much about the Marvel magic, but from the first Doctor Strange, magic in there was pretty cool, especially with how crazy it could get. But you know, so some of the things that I find funny in this is like America's backstory, where she has two moms, right? And they're going together with America picking flowers, and America gets scared by a wasp, right? And because of that, she opens a portal to a different dimension and sends them into that portal, and she gets left behind. And the funny thing about it to me is like this is supposed to be a really somber moment because it's following up on Strange's moment with Christine where they were on a date and she gave him the watch. But her backstory was just so funny to me because like I've been stung by a wasp before, and it sucks. It's terrible. I understand completely, but the fact that her having a superpower was activated by a wasp, and it could have allegedly killed her parents. And that's her story. She got scared by a wasp, and she sent her parents into a different dimension because of that. Like, that just sounds so ridiculous. And I know it's like it's superheroes, it's magic, you know. Like, of course it's ridiculous, but like that backstory just sounds insane. It sounds so weird. She got scared by a wasp, and because of that, she sent her parents into a different dimension that they could allegedly be dead. And ever since then, she's been traveling to find them. Like, okay, that part's good, but the first part is just like I don't know about that one. I don't know. That sounds like it's tied together by string cheese. But you know, I'm the writer, of course. So I just find it funny that that's the backstory. I don't know if like in the comics or something if she's not a Marvel Cinematic Universe original character. Like if that's her backstory as well, but I just find that one funny. Really funny. But besides that, music wise, you know, it's Marvel. There's no Amazing Spider-Man 3, or excuse me, uh, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3, where you have that amazing Venom suit music. But there's music that, you know, it does its job. It's nothing crazy. I don't remember anything from it, but you know, it's there. And you also have the characters. Doctor Strange, best character in the movie. There's just no way about it. I don't. Wanda was whack. Well, excuse me. Wanda was okay. Wanda was not whack. I'll definitely say that because Black Bolt is whack, and that's reserved for the cornballs of the movie. So you have what's it called? Wong being normal, America being okay. There's nothing really to her except she just doesn't know how to control her powers. It felt like this could have been more of a special than a movie with her, but you know, it was a movie. They definitely made it. It was entertaining for the most part, but not like it was okay in terms of entertainment, but it still entertained me. The one thing I didn't like, but I don't remember what it was. Oh my gosh, what was it? I just the horror. Okay, there you go, the horror. So the horror was an interesting aspect of it because it's unique. It's unique to most of the Marvel movies that I've seen. So having horror in this was cool, but at the same time, it's like I I only got scared by the jump scares because you know I got startled and I'm easy to scare. But it's not the scariest thing I've seen in in a horror movie, let alone in a Marvel movie. So I just thought like if they were going to go with horror, then I feel like the whole thing should have been horror. And obviously, you can't really do that because it is a Marvel movie. You want to appeal to most audiences. But the horror in this movie, it was okay enough to be passable, but not okay enough to be memorable or good. It was just mediocre, honestly. But I do like the scene where Charles Xavier enters Wanda's mind, and that whole scene. I like that. I thought that dreamscape was pretty cool, and the whole premise of dream walking, where you put your consciousness into another version of you in a different dimension. I thought that was pretty cool because it reminds me of Steins Gate in a little bit. I thought just like the way that they applied the magic in terms of the story was pretty cool with them, you know, uh, having to use some of the forbidden techniques and all that, just like the first one, but in a different way in terms of multi-dimensional business and shenanigans. Whereas the first one was more like the entities in our universe that are ridiculous and what we can do with it. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I also like the fact that they mentioned Spider-Man in this movie. That made me smile a little bit. But I'm just excited to see what they do with Spider-Man. But that's beside the point. It's not a it's they're a different superhero, different movie. But overall, honestly, The story was okay, the characters were okay, the music was okay. This movie is just okay to me. This is nowhere near as good as the first movie, but it's not horrendous. It is definitely not horrendous. You can watch it, have a good time. If you're here for just a simple plot, if you're here to see Doctor Strange, it's a movie. It's definitely a movie that fills the void of Doctor Strange that we had for 6 years. So it's okay. It's okay. If you're just here for some laughs, some goofs, some scares, some cool action pieces, some scenes, some fighting, some interesting ways that they apply the magic, like with the twist with Doctor Strange using the dead body in New York to go back to that place and fight Wanda in their home place. I think 616 or 626 was their dimension. But that was really cool. I thought that twist was awesome. But overall, like you can get some enjoyment out of this movie. It's not like you can't. But for me, I was honestly a little disappointed. I wish it was better than the first one, but I did not get a better movie than the first one. For a sequel, it was like I've mentioned before in the entire video, it was mediocre. But I did get my enjoyment out of it, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Honestly, for I don't remember what I gave the first Doctor Strange movie, but I don't remember at least. But this one, I'm giving it a 5, honestly. Or I'm giving it a 5, excuse me. That's, I think, about the best that I can give it without kind of reaching. But yeah, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's a movie. I watched it. It's now in the history books. And one thing I did want to mention actually was the fact that Marvel movies at this point are just getting ridiculous with the way that you need to watch something to have some context. Like, I'm not gonna watch the Wanda and Vision show to find out what Wanda was doing and why she's like over here suffering. I could get the gist of it from what they mentioned in the movie, but I do not care. Like I'm not watching the show not because I think it's bad. It's just like I'm here to see Doctor Strange. I'm not here to see Wanda or Vision or none of that. So like going out of my way, it's like if I'm not interested enough, then I'm just not gonna do it. You know, it's always that thing. If you can't force somebody to do something and expect them to enjoy it, if they genuinely do not want to do it, and that's the way I'm feeling about like just having so many prerequisites to get into like a story point or a movie. It's like it's cool how they're connected, how the universe is connected, but it's only really cool when it's the Avengers, when everybody is in there. For me, it's like, well, when Spider-Man was connected, like, oh, Doctor Strange. I watched Doctor Strange, so I can understand it. But I'd rather it be all these people in the Avengers than just a character's movie and have another requirement. That is it like either the first movie or a thing about the character. Like, I don't want to watch Wanda for Doctor Strange. Just like how some people may not want to watch Homecoming for. Oh, actually, you don't need to watch Homecoming for that. Civil War for Homecoming. There you go. It was reversed. I had it the other way around. But it's just something for me. Like, I'm not gonna change my ways. I'm just gonna watch the movie, and if I like the context, that's my fault. But I still will complain about it. But I won't, you know, blame the movie for it. I'm just gonna complain at the fact that I have to do that now. It's like if you're gonna follow the movies, you gotta follow the continuity. Just like with anything, like Kingdom Hearts with Star Wars, with not Final Fantasy because they're all separate, but you know what I mean. But yeah, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, 5 out of 10. Not the best Marvel movie I've seen, but could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. And I'm glad it wasn't worse. So that's all that matters to me. But I hope you all enjoyed. If you enjoyed the movie, let me know in the comments. I try not to be too crazy about it, like in the spoilers. But if you do, just give a warning. But I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching as always. Hopefully, if they ever do a Doctor Strange 3, it's a good one. Like one, excuse me. Hopefully, I can find more enjoyment in it, whether it's good or not. But as always, until next time, I'll check y'all out. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. And yeah, peace.